Namaste. A lot of people ask me as to what exactly is yogic counseling. To understand yogic counseling, you need to understand the concept of yoga. And before yoga, you need to understand Vedas. So, Veda comes from the root word Vid, which implies wisdom. Yoga is Veda in action. So, it is the path of living a life according to the precepts of the Vedic text. So, yoga is also better known as path of wisdom. Today, the yoga is extremely misunderstood. It is limited to what we know as physical exercises, but these are extremely small components of the greater yogic wisdom. Almost all Vedic texts they present yoga. A lot of you may think that Patanjali is the founder of yoga. Nothing can be farther from truth. Yoga Sutras of Patanjali is actually a referral material to the preceding yogic text. Now, what are these yogic texts? If you look at Valmiki's Ramayana, the first chapter, called as the Balakanda, there is a great conversation between a depressed Ram and his Rajaguru, Vashishta. It is popularly known as Yoga Vashishta. Then we have Bhagavad Gita, which is also about the greater teachings of yoga. In Bhagavad Gita, we see that Arjuna is distressed and Krishna is explaining him the ways of life. Then, if you go on, there are several Gitas, like you have Ashtavakra Gita, where a 13-year-old physically deformed boy explains life to a 45-year-old established and well-revered king. Then you have Avaduta Gita, where a wandering mendicant, popularly known as Avaduta, is explaining the greater concept of yoga to a king named Yadu, who is frustrated with his life. Now, if you look at all these yogic texts, you'll observe that it is not a tea time discussion or somebody sitting at a bar and talking about things that they do not understand, that they are unable to control, nor to have any intent to change it. It is a real time situation. It gives a productive way to handle the challenges. Every time I say this, a lot of people say, but aren't these texts thousands of years old? Do they have any raison d'etre to be followed in the times we live in? And my answer has always been simple and in affirmative yes. Now, if you are wondering why, it's because the yoga addresses specifically the construct of the human mind. And that human mind has not a bit change for eons. We feel depressed then, we feel depressed today. We feel anxiety then, we feel anxiety today. We get frustrated with life, we get frustrated with life even today. So all these mental situations have barely gone. While the external situation may have changed substantially, the things that is within has not changed at all. And what is worse is that we do not quite understand the difference between a mind and a brain. The modern science has absolutely no understanding where the mind begins and where the brain stops. For example, the brain is tangible, the mind is not. Let us take, for example, a mobile phone. Now, in a mobile phone, there are two components, things that you can touch, including the internal components. If I can open this, I can touch any components within this particular mobile phone. But then there is another important component, an operating system. We feel like we are touching the operating system. I'm clicking on something and something is happening there. But then you cannot really touch this operating system. And if I am to throw this phone down and break it, the operating system is gone. What we call as the hardware and the OS, they are, although related, they have an independent existence. For example, let's imagine there is an app in this particular mobile phone which is giving us trouble. Now, if we are simply going to on and off, it might give some solution at some point in time, but it is not going to give us the absolute resolution to the situation there, which is why we may then have to download an update or we need to completely remove that entire app outright. When you are depressed, what exactly is happening is that your mind has several of these apps, what we in this particular context call as spyware or something like a faulty app. And that app could use a lot of your capacity of your mobile phone. Now, something like this is a construct of the brain. Brain is this component, anything you can touch, and mind is this operating system, which you can never touch. If the problem is with the operating system, is there any point of fixing this particular hardware? So all these apps, softwares, and all other thing that goes on context of our mind are the what we can understand as thoughts, ideas, values, conditioning, manipulation that our mind is subject to over a period of time. And modern science and medicine has little to zero understanding about the mind. So the most of the problem you have mentally is not about your brain, but about your mind. So what yogic counseling does is it specifically identifies the thought processes. It understands how your mind works, and it identifies the solution to the situation that you are in. Remember, there is no suffering in life if there is no mind. The doctors say that if you have a pain in hand, it's because of some cause. But that pain itself is not in the brain. For example, if you are unconscious, if you are dead, nothing happening to your body is going to matter to you. There is no pain. Mind is everything, and it is the sole reason why you suffer pain. And the fact that we don't know anything about this mind in the modern science makes the yogic text extremely critical. And that is what yogic counseling is all about. Why do we offer yogic counseling for free? We live in an extraordinary situation today. Lot of people are suffering loneliness. Even those with families are suffering. The financial conditions are making people extremely stressful. We want to present this knowledge to as many people as possible through this free yogic counseling session. So this is our effort to present the timeless wisdom of this Vedic text, which was given away for free. Vasudha eva kutumbakam, they said. The whole world is one family. You're neither the body nor the mind. You are the consciousness. And that consciousness which is within me is in you. So we, at the ultimate level, are one and the same. Once we realize this fact, we can stop wars. We can find peace. We can live in harmony with the nature. We can make this world a better place. But we cannot make a better place with the broken hearts and minds. We need to fix the mind. And yogic counseling is our humble effort. We don't claim that we can fix the world, but it is better to light a lamp than to curse the darkness. Pranam and Namaste.